Multifamily Mindset.
Podcast. Think bigger.
Welcome to another episode of the Multifamily Mindset podcast. I'm your host today, Zach Rucker, coach here at the Multifamily Mindset. And those that are just joining us, we're super excited to have you part of our growing community and our existing listeners. Welcome back. We got another great guest on today. And some of these episodes, we dive into our others investors that have jumped into this journey of multifamily and their stories. I'm super excited today as someone that I've been working with and talking to for quite some time now. And so I'm super excited for our listeners to just get to hear his story, and hopefully it impacts you and you can learn from this today. So with that, I'm going to jump into our guest today is Cade Petersen. Cade, go ahead and introduce yourself. Super excited to have you on the show.
Yeah, excited to be here. I'm Cade Petersen. I'm 19. I've been a student in MFM since July of last year, so a little over a year now. And I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, that's awesome. 19. So listeners, Cade is 19, joined, been over a year. Did you come out right after graduating high school? Was that?
Basically, yeah. The
Yeah.
first MFM class I went to, I was still 17.
Oh man. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so why, you're still in high school and you went to a class, like what made you decide, hey, I'm gonna jump into multifamily, jumping out of high school?
Yeah, I knew I didn't really want to go to college. College wasn't really my thing. I had to try really hard in school and I was like getting by with B and C's and stuff. So I knew I kind of wanted to own my own business. I didn't know what kind of path I would take to do that. I was originally researching wholesaling and house hacking and stuff like that. And then from researching all that, Tyler Deveraux' face on one of those Facebook ads or something popped
Yeah.
up, just like so many others. And yeah, so we attended the free 1 day class and then followed it up with a 3 day class. Um, and I sat down, I saw the kind of money you can make and the kind of freedom that comes along with having success in this business, and it was something that I saw that I could do. So I just jumped in.
That's awesome. And just like exploring that at such a young age to just start thinking about, yeah, college isn't for me. Because a lot of times people go to college just trying to figure out what they want to do. Like it's just more of a delay of time to figure
Yeah.
out what you want to do with your life. I know that was for me. I was probably in that same boat of like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't really want to go get a corporate job, but all I knew was I got to, like, the next step was college.
Yeah.
And so at least you saved that time to jump right in and figure that out one step sooner. I think that's big, just the mindset to start thinking and looking, jumping into wholesaling, house hacking. Like those are all tools in real estate that can give you a great career. That's awesome. So since joining over a year ago, what's happened?
Um, there was a lot of it was pretty slow at first. I was not putting in enough hours to become successful. Um, and that there's a couple different things, life gets in the way. You can't always, you don't always have all your time, but um I think probably I would say January is when I really hit the ground running. There was a lot, Peak Partnership was awesome. I met a ton of people there. And then it's just constant, it's the saying that I hear often is it's just you're just drinking from a fire hose with all the information that MFM has to offer and all the, even people in the network posting their own webinars on, whatever it may be. There's just so much to learn and you never stop learning. You still learn something every day. So, just constant learning, constant networking, and eventually, found someone that we had a couple options to go into a deal. There was one in Utah. I think you do remember that. That was a
Yeah.
while ago.
Yeah, I
We
remember
opted
that
out
one.
of doing that one. And looking back, I think that was the right decision, not to just jump straight into the first one because we got an opportunity. So but yeah, the next opportunity we were presented with, we liked the numbers a lot better, like the team, so we thought that was a good opportunity to take.
That's good. I mean, you said something key there is like not taking that first opportunity. Whether, I mean, it was really probably appealing, and I know you guys were probably pretty close to just jumping in
Yeah.
on that. Um, but you guys, seeked out some additional feedback, right? And making sure, hey, are we doing the right thing here? Does this really make sense, or are we just trying to get a deal done to get a deal done? And I think a lot of people fall into that because you probably feel this was, you jump into a mentorship program, you got a timeline, and you got this clock ticking, and you're trying to fight that to just get moving, get some momentum. But you guys kept sticking through that, educating yourselves, networking. You guys were always on different networking calls, and that's where I saw you guys a lot, was on the different networking calls, and that was great. And I think that's what gave you guys that opportunity, right? But um, not jumping at that first one is a key piece for a lot of people to hear. That is, make sure you're jumping into the deal that makes sense for you to
Yeah.
move forward with.
Yeah. I had heard a few stories here and there about, it not working out. And so I tried to just learn from other people's mistakes. And um, so, I think it was the right play looking back now. So
Yeah, but probably hard in the moment, right?
yeah, I was I was like jazzed. I was like, oh my goodness, I can get on a deal. I can do this. Yeah. So
But since then, so you turned down that opportunity, and then another opportunity popped up
yeah,
probably shortly, what, a couple months after.
yeah,
Awesome. And how's that opportunity been going?
it's going well. Closed, still raising on the property. But I mean, we're our numbers were done conservatively, and we're less in closing costs than we thought, and higher rent bumps. So definitely excited for the this property.
That's awesome. And you mentioned just me something right before we're chatting a little bit about it, of um those rent bumps, of like what you guys were able to achieve, and like just give those listeners a little bit of like what happened at the property to just increase how it's performing right now.
Yeah. So when we bought this property, we knew we were about $200 under market rent. And so we thought that as soon as we renovated a unit, obviously you don't just get your entire rent up to market the second you get into the property. It's going to take some time. Um, but we were projecting to get $150 rent bumps, because actually right as we were purchasing the property, the previous owner, they were renovating two units, and those two units rented out for 150 above what the other units were. And so that's kind of, where our baseline was, like,
Hmm.
okay, so we know we can get 150. Um, and we borrowed a property manager from a nearby property that our sponsor team was using, that did an awesome job over there. And she came in and she just got to work. She learned the ins and outs of that property within like a week. And she knew the market really well. And she's now bumping the renovated units $275
Wow.
above, instead of 150. So, almost double what we thought we were going to get. So,
Wow. I mean, that's huge. That's a huge impact. And that just shows one change within, the day-to-day operations of, or a personnel, the
yeah,
people that you bring in make the difference. It's all about the people and part of the deal to make the deal work, not necessarily the numbers, but the people. And so she came in, and even though you guys were getting decent rent increases, but changing that personnel just drastically changed the outcome there. And that's huge. That's awesome.
yeah, definitely.
So with this jumping into a deal, getting involved, first off, congrats. I mean, that's a big step. it's a big step in your journey in this direction. How has it been? I guess struggles, advantages of being 19 and jumping into this space.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's kind of like 50% of people will look at you like, what do you know about real estate? Like you're 19. Like how are you operating in this space? What are you talking about? You do, multifamily with 100 plus units. What does that even mean? And then other people will have this like, that's so awesome. I wish I started then. How can I help you? Like, how can I support you through this?
Hey, listeners, thank you for tuning in to the MFM podcast. We truly appreciate your support and hope you're enjoying the insights from our incredible guests. We have one small favor to ask. Please leave us a review and rating. Your feedback means the world to us. And to show you our appreciation, we're giving away some great prizes to some lucky listeners who leave us a review. So scroll down, share your thoughts, and help us continue to bring valuable content. Thanks, and back to the show.
So it's really cool to see, different people's reactions and, just the different kind of people that you may want to work with. But it is definitely weird. I know there's a couple of other young people in the network, so that's nice to know that I'm not the only one. But you know, it's different, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely you get both sides. People, hey, what's your credibility? And then others, um, just definitely looking at you like, man, you're way beyond your years. I was thinking the way you did. So, I mean, with that, like to jump into this space, what's the importance of like mindset? Like you mentioned before, you didn't want to go to college. It just wasn't for you, and you're trying to figure out these alternatives. But what makes multifamily, and you think like mindset play that role in your journey to multifamily?
Yeah, mindset, it's a big deal, definitely because when you're looking around and you're 19, and everyone is either at college or they jumped into the trades or they got an internship or they just went straight into the workforce, whatever it is, you feel like you're behind.
Mm.
Um, if I were to, if I like zoomed out, my kind of perspective on it, I know that I'm making the right play. It's a long-term play. It's building long-term wealth. But yeah, having the mindset to, look past, all your friends or everyone else that you went to high school with that's already either making money or they're getting their degrees. I'm 19, so people my age are halfway through college now. I'm a little bit young for my grade. So, but yeah, they're like halfway through college now. They're kind of getting in the groove of things. They know their major, they know what they're gonna do. So yeah, it's tough, but I mean, it's part of the journey for sure. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that the feeling behind aspect, I mean it definitely, because that's where society goes, is you follow the path.
right,
You go to school, you go to college, and you get a job.
yeah,
But you're not like society.
try not to be.
And so that, but unfortunately, we feel those impacts and that weight of what the norm is, right? However, um, another way to look at it is this country is built off of entrepreneurs and
Yeah,
starting businesses,
yeah,
and really you're following in that footsteps. And I think that's super neat that you took that jump, um, and you're working through that. Now, that doesn't mean it's easy. It struggles, but you're doing your own university your own way, right? Like you're putting those pieces together.
yeah,
And so that's what it, I mean, you're getting your own type of degree, your entrepreneur degree, jumping in, failing, learning, failing,
yeah,
and gaining success at the same time. So I love where your mind's at of it's you're able to zoom out and see the long-term gains from this.
right.
But then zooming in and you're like, man, this kind of sucks right now. Like
Yeah,
I feel
day tough.
yeah. Um, so like what do you try to do kind of day to day to kind of help with that, right? Because this is your school, like this is what you're doing full time, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have like little side hustles that I work on the weekend just for cash, but yeah, this is what I'm doing full time. I I think mindset wise, I mean, I love the gym. I love going to the gym. Gym's happy place. And I don't know. I think it's a lot of like constant reassurance. It's like, you're doing what you should be. You're not, you don't want the kind of life that everyone else is having, whether or not they're making a lot of money right now or they're making good money for their age or they have, whatever it is. Um, it's definitely, yeah, just knowing that I'm on the right path, that I'm on, the path that I chose when I sat down and I thought about what kind of life I wanted. I didn't want to sit behind a desk for, 50 plus years and then retire. And yeah, so.
Nice. So what's I guess helping you through, like, do you have a routine? Like you said, gym's happy place,
Yeah.
and obviously you can see that. But do you have like a certain routine? Like, do you have like a morning routine, or do you have, a certain schedule throughout your day that you're following to keep like momentum going? Or
Yeah, I try to wake up relatively early. Um, I'm not a morning person, so that doesn't always happen. But I do try my best. And I have been doing better recently, so that's good. But I try to get up and I try to do a lot of my work from, I don't know, let's say like 9 to 3-ish. I try to do most of my calls, most of, and whatever learning I'm doing, whatever team calls I may be on for a property or someone new I'm meeting, or maybe I have to go out to lunch with a brand new investor or whatever it may be. I try to get it done in that kind of window frame. Obviously, there's stuff that happens later. Maybe there's a networking call or someone else couldn't talk until they were off work, so that happens later. But for the most part, I try to get a lot done in that time, and then I'll go to the gym after. I don't really like going to the gym in the morning. I know some people do, but it's not for me. Um, so yeah, I try to go to the gym after that, and then Um, after the gym, it's just kind of like, taking care of my day-to-day stuff. I gotta go do some laundry or clean up my room or, car wash, fill the car up with gas, whatever it is.
yep. Okay. Nice. I like that. So, with this goal that you have of going through and doing multifamily and being essentially your own boss, like what else is like your why behind what you're doing? Like, is there a bigger reason behind it besides just like a career?
Yeah, I don't, I don't want to say anything that's, it's gonna rile some people up. But this current, the current economy that we were just in for the last 4 years, it's scary to look at, some of these house prices and just kind of the cost of living, especially in the area I'm in. And I knew I had to find, something else that wasn't like a minimum wage job or something. In the future, I don't have a family yet. I'm 19, so that's probably a good thing. In the future, I do want to be able to, kind of focus more on family more so than just, missing, whatever the family's doing because I have to go work or whatever it may be. I'd rather, be around and be more involved if that makes sense. And I know that it's really hard right now, but once I start, achieving more passive income or I'm making money while I'm not working is kind of the point I want to be at. Um, and is the first steps to kind of, towards that path. So I'd say future family. I can't say family because I don't have one, but future family definitely. And I don't want to have to think really, really deeply about what I'm spending my money on. Like, and that doesn't mean like, all these exotic cars.
Hmm.
It just means like, day to day. Um, I'm like, oh, I gotta buy that at the grocery store. That might, that's not great. Oh, I gotta go fill up my gas tank. Gas is super expensive. I don't want to, so it's kind of just, for more peace of mind and family. So
Yeah, that ease on the financial burden there for sure. I mean, I'm sure that's like your definition of financial freedom, right? It's not having to worry about what what your money has to go towards every penny at least.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's very common for a lot of people. I think almost everyone would relate is they don't want to have to worry where their
yeah,
money's going, and that they can be able to spend it. Obviously, like you mentioned, we're not wasting just throwing money out the window, but we're not worried about the little day-to-day items.
yeah.
Okay, sweet. Well, I mean, with that, I want to go jump into our think bigger questions. So we got three questions here. One is, how do you choose to think bigger?
Um, every day I feel like I'm thinking of where I'm gonna be in the future. And it kind of gets me caught up in like, who I'm gonna be as opposed to like what I need to do to get there right now. Um, I want to have, you know, like I said earlier, I want to be making money while I'm not working. But I understand to get to that point is a lot of work and a lot of, blood, sweat, tears. So I kind of I want to be in the position someday to where I have companies, maybe not like a ton of employees, but maybe someone who answers phone calls or whatever it may be, because I'm trying to learn multiple aspects of real estate, like I said before. So I just maybe, constant deal flow and closing of deals, when I'm not always 100% hands-on. Obviously, I know that it's going to be hands-on for the most part, but you know, definitely when it starts making, passive money and I have things working while I'm not. So,
Awesome. Love it. Next question is, how do you define success?
um, it's a good question. I think I would say that to be successful, at least in my eyes, I think family is probably the number one most important thing. I know that if I had to choose having a nice family and then like a regular job or a crazy exotic job and make a ton of money but no family, I would choose to have a family every time. Um, so I think that success in my eyes is having a healthy family and a happy family. But obviously, it's nice to have that money on the side to be able to take care of the family. So
Yeah, I love that answer. I mean, at your age, to be thinking that way of family is the success. I mean, that's huge. I'm sure most guys your age are thinking, man, if I can get a nice car and I can travel or, whatever it may
don't
be.
worry, I still think about having a
For
nice
sure.
car, but
Yep. Yeah. But you think a little further, right? And you think a little bit deeper in that. And that shows a lot about where your mind's at and what you have in that vision for your future, right? And I love that you said having a healthy family is success, and that just shows what the true purpose of what you're doing is. Like you're trying to get to a place where you can create that environment for your family, right? Right now you're working on that career aspect, but that's going to put you in a place for you. Yeah, you can provide for your family in a healthy way, not worry about filling up the tank of gas and all those things, right? So I hear what you're saying, and I see it on that deeper level that you just mentioned right there with the family. So I love that. I love that answer.
thanks.
Last question is, what is the best advice you can give new multifamily investors and students? And with that also, for the young people too, what's the advice you can give the younger, other young new investors that are jumping in like you?
Yeah, I don't know if I feel qualified, but I would say as far as being an entrepreneur, as far as like multifamily mindset, like, am I?
Uh, Yeah, I mean it either way. Let's either way. Yeah, what's the best advice from your journey of jumping in to entrepreneur space into multifamily? Like what's advice you can give?
Um, as far as being an entrepreneur, it's definitely I'd say delayed gratification is a big one for sure. It's kind of goes along with that mindset is, you're not going to see results right away. And in a business like multifamily, you're probably going to be waiting even longer to see results than, a different business. But just knowing that if you truly know, what your plan is for the next couple years and you're working towards it, I think that um, you kind of have this peace of mind, even though you don't see success right now. And especially, other people around you are just gonna, they're gonna be like, yeah, well, what you haven't done anything yet. So, what are you even doing? Do you even work? Do you even try? Like, it's like, so, um, but I mean, if only they knew, you're getting up and you're on calls and you're networking, you're trying to learn this new thing. Like underwriting was a nightmare for me. I'm not that great at it, but I try and I'm always, learning. I go back and watch the path videos all the time, and I've heard that a million times, but I just like, um, you know, it's a lot of, you keep working, no results, and working, results. Um, and then eventually it pays off, and then people around you are gonna be like, oh yeah, yeah, you did awesome, yeah, I mean, we're friends, right? So definitely delay gratification, and don't worry about just proving it to other people. I'd worry about just being true to like what your purpose is and just proving it to yourself.
I love that. That's a great way to end this is just yeah, don't worry about what that world is saying. That
Yeah,
there is that pressure there and it's always there. But if you can focus on what the bigger purpose of your journey is and your why and your impact you can create, that's what you focus on, especially on the hard days when you're getting a lot of those calls of people like, what do you know? Like you're just a kid
yeah,
and pushing through that because you know that is going to turn around because you're starting right now versus 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, 30 years down the road. Like you're starting now. So imagine where you're going to be at in those people's, footsteps that they said, when they were in their 50, 40s and they're looking at you like you're just a kid. Okay, well then we'll see how that looks down the road because
yeah,
you pushed yourself out of that comfort zone, out of the norm
yeah.
to get there. Love it. So is there anything else you'd want to share?
I don't think so.
All
Not that
right.
I, so.
Well, thank you so much for jumping on, Cade. This has been fun. I know our listeners can relate, our younger ones, and they can feel that. And if you guys want to reach out to Cade, what's the best way that they can reach out to you?
Probably Facebook or Instagram. I'm probably a little bit more active on Facebook, even though I'm 19. I just learned to be on there more. So probably Facebook is the best. Just search up my name and it should come up.
Okay, sounds good. And we'll keep your stuff in the show notes as well for the listeners. But with that, thanks so much. And listeners, we will see you next time.
Multifamily Mindset podcast. Think bigger.